thank you for joining me for this second wonderful episode. And if you're joining for the first time for the cool board or watching for the first time on YouTube, here is how it works. Every Wednesday, I have 12 different items from the keyboard community, which together somewhat, we will rank. Is it cool? Is it wow, I mean, which is the coolest it could possibly be. Is it just cool? Is it meh? Or is it a yikes? And you don't want to be a yikes. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be there. So, Giorgio's still going off again against a neighbor. I'm sorry about that. That's life. So, I have 12 wonderful items that we are going to go over today. Once Giorgio decides to stop being upset at the world. Soon? No? Soon? Come on, Giorgio, are you good? You good? No, he's not good. I'm sorry, everyone. I don't know why he's so upset. He's just, he's being a George. He's just excited over the segment. Could be the case. That could be the case. But alas, we must go on. So, do you guys want to start? I'll let everyone choose. Do I want to start with a keyboard or a key set for today? Where would you guys like to start? I'll give chat the choice. Key set or keyboard? Where do you guys want to start today? I'm deciding if it's wow, cool, meh, or yikes. Key sets, keyboard. Keyboard, ooh, 2 for 2. What are we gonna start with today? Keyboard. Okay. Well, let's get to it then with a keyboard. And the first item for today from a Mr. Mech 27 is the Mech 27 V1 keyboard. This is the keyboard best known for having a brass maple leaf on the back as a weight. This is a TKL. Quite nice. Has a diffuser in the middle, or an option for one. What do you guys think? Where does the Mech 27 V1 fall in this chart? The more right it goes, the better, and then with each category, the more up it goes, the better as well. We've got some wows from a Canadian. We got some cools of meh cool, low cool, leaning cool, meh. I think it's at least somewhat cool. I've had them. I've had some in person at meetups. I felt pretty cool, but how cool? Is it cooler than the Nova Touch? I'd say yeah. I'd say it's definitely cooler than a Nova Touch. So we're gonna put it right here. I think that's a pretty cool place. I think it's solidly a cool board, despite some issues people may have had. Now, the next one is kind of stuck to the other one. Next one's pretty interesting. The designer, well known, well respected by many. The designer is LZ, but this board is one of LZ's more controversial boards. It's the LZ Iron, with a little arc reactor light on the side that you guys can barely see on this 3x3 inch print. Where does the LZ Iron fall in this dichotomy of cool? Is it a yikes because of the really crazy design with these flared edges and accents going left and right and the light by your arrow keys? Or is that what makes it different, makes it cool? What do you guys think? Mid yikes? Iron? High meh? Is it in the meh? Is it yikes? Is it cool? Does being LZ allow you to escape the yikes category? I think that's the real question. I think for a lot of people, it's really hit or miss. I think I've seen it 3 years ago or 2 years ago at a WASD, the NorCal meetup that I held at WASD Keyboards. Someone had an LZ iron. I saw that and I was like, So, I dropped a pin. So, yeah, I don't think it's just a yikes. I do think it's a meh on the lower scale of meh. Just because the design for me is too out there. I think if LZ went with some of the accents that are present, but not all of them, it would have made for a much more pleasant board. I think overall just too many things are going on with the LZ iron to really bump it up there past mid-meh. So I'm going to put it over here. It's still a solid board to type on. Okay? Our next one is one that has found its own very special niche community within the keyboard space, and is the Let Split. The Let Split is a split ortholinear keyboard, which is basically a split plank. Can feature R's, G's, and the B's. So where does the Let Split fall on the cool board? How cool is the Let Split? Low, cool, cool, meh, meh, low yikes. Wow, that's pretty admonishing. Admonishing the bad one is a good word. Bottom of cool, mid, meh, cool, low, cool. I definitely think it does straddle between meh and cool. And I'll say it's meh leaning toward cool for one reason. There are no good cases for the Let Split yet. I think everyone can agree there's no good cases for the Let Split, and until it gets a good case, a nice aluminum one for example, that's high profile even, I think that's going to keep it out of the cool category. I think until it gets a good case, it can't get past the meh. So maybe in the future, when we revisit the Let Split, if they ever get a cool case for it, it can move up in the meh or closer to the cool. We shall see. We shall see. Moving on next is the first key set we'll be talking about for tonight. And the first key set we're going to be talking about for tonight is one that came out relatively recently-ish. I haven't heard much about it after it shipped. It shipped, a handful of people posted pictures, and then I never saw it again. And when I show you this set, you'll be like, you're right. I did never see it again after it shipped. Because the next item we're going to be talking about is GMK Led Zep. I never saw this pop up anywhere after it shipped. I saw a handful of pictures. I've never seen it since. As if it just vanished in midair. It's like its own hidden community of people who own this set. I don't actually know anyone who owns this set. Do I know you? And do you own this set? And you've just been keeping a secret from me? Because I feel like that's the case with GMK Led Zep. Thank you guys for the follow, AZ Walker Stop. So where on this does GMK Led Zep fall? Is it cool? It's not wow, let's be honest. Okay? Or is it just meh because of these colors? So, yeah. This was ran by the Key Company. I think if I remember correctly, it was a bit on the pricey side. So that definitely kind of hurts it in my opinion. But thanks for the link, PodXJ. Where does GMK Led Zep fall? What do you guys think? I I do think it has some coolness to it. I do think that. If it's cool, I'd say it's low, like pretty low cool. Like it just barely passed the top of meh to go to the bottom of cool, if it does. What do you guys think? AZ Water Subs meh, cool. It's unique, yeah. I mean, Led Zep, good band. I think it's pretty universally agreed. It's pretty decent. They're at least meh as a musical group. Depending on what age you are, I'm pretty sure is going to be how you rate the band for general listening. I'm gonna say, I'm just gonna put on the bottom, straddling meh and cool. Okay, is it meh? Is it cool? It's gonna be right here, guys. Okay, this next one is one of the best budget-conscious cases for anyone looking to build a 60% keyboard. So you might have already guessed what this is. Up next is the KBD Fans Tofu. Okay, so where does the KBD Fans Tofu really fall? How cool is it that it can get so many people to build their first keyboard, compared to the fact that the quality may not be the best, but it could be pretty good for its price? I've never owned one, so this is more on all of you than it is on myself on how you guys think it falls. Because a lot of people I know have built the Tofu and have pretty much enjoyed it for a good amount, especially for the price it was. You know, for like what, 80 bucks, right? High profile, looks clean lines, right? Meh to cool, the name though. Solid cool, low cool, I don't think it's a wow. We haven't had a wow yet. Okay? I don't know if we'll have a wow by the end of this episode, but we'll see. How is it for the price though? 80 bucks. Tofu. I heard it's better anodization than the 5 degree, which then again, that's like a really low bar, because the 5 degree is like, I'm gonna put this low actually cool though, because I like the fact that it got a lot of people to build their first 60%. I think that's a perfectly good reason to put it at least as something cool, right? It may not be cool for me, but for a lot of people, it really is that cool, like, hey, I built this. This is a 60%. I hand soldered this myself. My first time soldering. It's this Tofu board that I got from KBD Fans. It gets people talking. It gets people in. I like that. Okay, I like that. Our next one. It's an interesting one. Not everyone will like how this types. Some people might. I think it's just pretty funky in general. It's a PCB that you can build up. It is whooshing, the Katana 60. It's a 60% PCB that has this weird funky layout where your hands are, you know, instead of like this, they're like this. What do you guys think about the Katana 60? Is this layout too weird to love, or is it cool that they're trying to innovate how you use your hands? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? What was that? Oh, it was for the Aristotle switch. Let's put this back. Got a little mez, a few yikes, very few cools though. I think it's solidly in the meh. I haven't tried it, so I don't know. Don't think it's enough ergonomics to justify the weirdness. That's pretty good reasoning. Meh. I don't think it's high meh. I think it's low. I think more work needs to be done on it to raise the bar. Okay. Our next item is definitely one that will definitely got people talking when it came out because it's pretty big of a board and the design is very hit or miss for a lot of people. Actually, basically anything this studio puts out is kind of a hit or miss with a lot of people. From Gray Studio, it is the HB85, inspired by the Hitbit keyboard computer things from days of, not future past, that's a bad movie, but days of the past. HB85. How cool is the HB85? Is it cool? Is it not cool? I don't know. What do you guys think? Got some wows, got some meh cools, high cools. HB85. It came in like 3 different layouts. The bezel to end all bezels. Where are we at with this? Where are we at with this? Okay, it's not yikes. I'm gonna say executively, it's not a wow. Executive decision, not wow. Okay, it's not wow. I think it's cool. I think it's pretty cool though. So I'm gonna give it pretty cool. I'll go over here. Okay, moving on next. What do we have? Ooh, this one is this is a classic. This one, I would argue, helped start our community be what it is. It's a name that so many people in this community will know, have tried, will know someone who've tried. It has brought so many people to this hobby. And well, for a lot of people, it's very near and dear to them, whether or not they constantly use it or not. And there's a lot of people who do. There's its own community of people who use it. It's the IBM Model M. How cool is the IBM Model M? Pretty old board. A lot of people have to do bolt mods to get them in good condition, since eventually the plastic rivets will break off. But once you get it bolt modded, it feels sturdy, it feels great. It's the classic clicky keyboard. How cool is the IBM Model M? It's not as cool as the Model F, but I don't have the Model F for today, which is, I guess, a spoiler for within the last remaining ones, no Model F. So when we do get the Model F, it has to be rated higher than this. Thank you so much for the follow, C.I. Jansen. So how cool is Model F? Is it meh? I think it's gonna be in between. It's definitely like one of those things where it's so in the middle, like everyone recognizes the Model M, right? Even people who aren't into keyboards, more people are just like, oh, that's like the computer my dad used or my grandpa used, depending on how young or old you are watching this video. Does the history of this board make it cooler than the reality of typing on it today? I think that's the big question we can all think about, because this board has a lot of history. It really does. It had a very, very, very long production run. Okay, it is monumental in the enjoyment and revitalization of keyboards for so many people. But nowadays, as a keyboard to type on, especially when we know so much better. So, yeah. Yeah. We're doing this, aren't we? What do you guys think? Right here? Right here? You know, I will give recognition to the history of this board, and I'll put it in a place where it won't get covered up. Here we go. Okay, next up, Thank you very much for the, thank you, Nays, and hello. Next up, I need to get more pins outs. Now you're a little lower, like on the floor. Production value. More pins. Okay, this is a board, a popular board from a well-known designer. I think this one will do well. I don't know about being a wow, but I think it's going to do pretty well because from this designer who's had a lot of hits and a lot of misses, this is definitely one that for a lot of people has really stood out and has a lot of builds. Okay, Zeal is right. It is a duck. I'll say Zeal is right off the bat. He already knows how I describe it. It's a duck. It's not any duck though. It's the duck Octagon V2. Where does the duck Octagon V2 fall? Sorry guys, it's not Alf. So, duck Octagon V2. I think it's at least cool, like pretty decently cool as well. I think it is held back by the PCB, of course, but in terms of design, in terms of, you know, the sound, a lot of people have done really good with the V2. I listed the V2 for a reason though, not the V1. We'll probably revisit it in the future. Some mess, really, a lot of mess. I just against duck because the PCBs, cool, but like old cool. It is old cool. I mean, it's cool to the point where people used to use RGB or CMYK mods. Okay, that's like, that hasn't been in for like 2 years. I think it's low cool. I think it's pretty low cool. So what do you guys think? Duck Octagon. I want to hear what you guys think. Some people have tried this board at meetup, some people have not. It's a great board to try out if you're ever going to a meetup and you see one. Ducks also have that really intense typing angle. You know, 11 degrees. A lot of people, not that much. I'm going to put it right here. Put it right here, everyone. Gonna put it right there. Okay, we are running to our last 3 of tonight. Okay, last 3 of tonight. Hope you guys are ready. Hope you guys are ready. Okay, this next one is going to be a GMK set with a lot of mixed results. A lot of people, I'll say a lot of people were happy how this GMK set turned out just because the SA set turned out so poorly. You can probably guess what set it might be then, based off of that explanation. The GMK set was well received, had higher ratings than it probably should have, just because it was so much better than the SA version. The SA version came first, by the way. It's not Nautilus, not 9009. Anyone else? Gander a guess before I show you guys what it is. The SA version had a different name, which probably will throw you off. But that will also give you the answer. Nope, not Chocolatier, but you guys didn't hear the hear that clue when I said, but when you typed it in. Okay, I will now unveil the secret. The SA version was worse. And because the SA version was so bad, the GMK version was decently light. GMK Soware. The SA version was SA Chronicler. And as you guys might have remembered, those legends had like 0 contrast for the SA version. And these, you can actually see the legends, where people are like, it's amazing. So, GMK Soware was sold on Keyclack. Where do you guys think it falls? In the cool DCS award. There was a DCS version. I didn't give that clue, because I think that would have made it way too easy. High meh is like the top of the mez. It does have the RGB mods with the yellow arrow keys. for the Legends. Has this nice cyan blue alphas on a nice, creamy light gray keycaps. Yeah, what do you guys think of GMK Saware? Lowest meh, mid meh to cool. I think it's. I have this set. Disclosure. I actually think it's decent. I'm gonna put it decently high meh. Decent meh. What about up here? Remember, everyone, the x-axis takes precedent over the y-axis. So even if it's higher, if it's not more right, it isn't as cool. It's only cooler than the ones where it shares the same axis. The more you know. Okay. Thanks for the links, everyone. This next one is a one by request. This one was requested, and I need to add Z axis for friends. Just her adding strings going outwards toward the camera. Oh, holy moly! Okay, so this next one is was requested to me. They're like, okay, Huey, just give it to me straight. Give me the meh. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Because our next one is from Chris Wires. It is ESA Alchemy. I had to use his picture too. You know I had to. I had to do him like this. Yeah, ESA Alchemy. Where are we putting Alchemy? This was pretty recently on PMK. I know Chris was working on this for months and months and months. And then SP for months and months and months kept telling him, oh, it'll be next month. It'll be next month. It'll be next month, until they just stopped telling him. And then it just released one day, basically. So how cool is ESA Alchemy? I think it's one of the better DSA sets out there. Definitely one of the better DSA sets. I don't know if I wouldn't say it's the best DSA set. That'd probably have to be reserved for like Galaxy class or that tier, but I think it's pretty up there near that tier of like good DSA sets. So is it cool? Is it a nice enough DSA set to make the fact that the colors bring it to the cool, even though the DSA kind of pulls it back? What do you guys think about ESA Alchemy? I think the colors do bring it to cool. And I think it's cooler than GMK Led Zep. Okay. Chris Wires, when you watch the VOD, because I think you're sleeping right now, but Chris Wires, when you watch the VOD, this is where I've placed your ESA Alchemy. Okay, our last, thank you for the follow. Our last item for tonight. And by the way, don't forget, every Wednesday we'll be doing 12 different items from the keyboard community every Wednesday in my Discord, link down below. I do have a channel where you can put your own recommendations forward for what we should be covering, and I will grab from those as well as grab from the ones I find and think of myself every single week, okay? So keep that in mind. Join the Discord if you haven't. And let's get to the last item for tonight. The last one. How cool or yikes are the Aaliyah Switches? These are switches that are have sound-sync pads and creaky springs and pink stems and are like 50 cents each. Thank you for the follow. Get a lot of yikes in chat. Upper yikes, low meh. We got a lot of yikes in chat. I think it's almost a universal yikes. Sounding pads that break as well. Let's just solidly put it in a yikes position. And this is the cool board for the 20th of March. What do you guys think? You think I think it's better than Rainbow or Combats. What do you guys think about how today went? Are there any ones that you disagree with for what we did today? Let me know in chat right now. Or any of the ones where you think we were too harsh on. Were there anything I was too harsh on, or anything that you thought was rated too highly compared to where we ended up putting it? For the ones that we did today, we did the Mech 27 V1, we did the Duck Octagon V2, we did the KBD Fans Tofu, ESA Alchemy, GMK Led Zep, IBM Model M, HB85, LZ Iron, GMK Soware, Let's Split, Katana 60, and Aaliyah Switches. What do you guys think? We need a wow. We need a wow. We haven't had a wow in 2 episodes yet. So we will see. Talisman Solutions, thank you so much for the bits. Alchemy deserves better. HB85 deserves more elevation. This is pretty intense. Pretty intense. Your Zephyrs, you think Zephyr should be a wow, Pluto? Wow. See, that's the thing. Like, who owns? I never heard anyone say I own Led Zep until like you right now, basically, like confirming you own it, so it can be higher. I'm convinced it's like a keycap conspiracy where like people say they own it, but they don't, or they own it, but they're like hidden and secluded away for some unknown reason. That's why I need to bring up, start busting out the string and connecting all these conspiracies. Hello, Polyzoo. So what do you guys think? I think overall, today was, I think, actually pretty accurate on how I'd rate a lot of these things. So I don't think it was that bad. Can you submit very specific boards? Like, you mean like I want to submit 55 gram spring lubed MX blacks with 3203 and 3204 built inside of my Viper using DSA Hydro, like that specific? No. Because basically, eventually, I would need like 1,000 times of a bigger board to give everyone's keyboards a shot somewhere. One-offs or super customs? Yeah, like private group by ones that are like one-offs to a degree. But yeah, those would be acceptable. Something like 55 gram Topra domes, I would just put it as Topra. Because we can say, you know, does the fact that variable Topra exist pull Topra back? Or does the fact that 55 gram Topra exist bring it forward? So that is going to be the segment for tonight, everyone, for the cool board. But stay tuned. I have an awesome content teaser to show you next. Thank you, Talisman Solution, for even more bits. For recommendations, feel free to join my Discord, link down below, and I have a channel, Cool Board Recommendations. It is on a slow mode, so you can only recommend something every 2 minutes. I just do that to prevent spam. And if you have any recommendations, I'll look through that list every week, as well as take inspirations from my own findings, my own remembrances every single week. Will the standings of the cool board be plotted out every so often, like every month? So at least after the first episode, what I did is I just used my camera. I took some nice pictures of different angles. I'll probably keep doing that. If anyone wants to actually physically plot it on an Excel or whatever they want, you know, knowing that X axis trumps Y axis, you are free to do that. I'm not going to do that myself. I like just the visual clutter of it. But with my pictures, if anyone wants to chart it and plot it, you are very much welcome to. And if you do, please share it. Pretty interested to see how it goes. So, thank you everyone. For the people watching the VOD, don't stay tuned everyone who's live, but for everyone watching the VOD, thank you so much for watching. I have all my other content links everywhere, so check that out when you get a chance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for everyone that's live, let's move on to the next segment.